Tamara Fusco. I've been a general pediatrician and a child advocate for over 25 years, and I've practiced the last 18 years here in Nixa. Now, for the last 2 years, I've also been a consultant for a local mental health system, and then just recently this year, I've actually made a change, and I'm practicing pediatric mental health full-time now. I've served in the Army National Guard for 8 years, and I had a final rank of captain. I'm the mother of 3 Nixa students, Heath, Brendan, and Amara. Besides numerous community activities like Project Graduation, school booster clubs, PTSA, and Girl Scouts, I've also been an experienced board member. I've served on the Down Syndrome Group of the Ozarks Board, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and the Greater Regional Breastfeeding Ozarks Coalition. Thanks. So first of all, thank you for coming. Thank you for caring enough about your kids to hear what our candidates have to say, because we're all in it for the same thing. We are in it for our kids. So I want to thank you for inviting me to talk about my one true passion about Nixa with it. And so, but we've been asked to hold it to 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to try to be mindful of that, but I have to warn you, I get a little carried away when I'm talking about kids. In a nutshell, my one true passion for Nixa is taking care of the whole child. So let me tell you what I think that means. As a mother of 3 children, and like I said, 2 of mine started at preschool and graduated, and I still have 1 in school, I have seen all stages of the Nixa schools. As I am acutely aware that the future of our community relies on the excellence of education to our children. But for each child to get to their maximal potential, not only do we have to do exemplary education, but we have to support that child through their basic needs with it. As a pediatrician, I recognize that some of our children, that school is the only place that they have sufficient nutrition, or a safe and a stable environment, or psychological support. So how do we go about taking care of the whole child? We do this by taking care of each child's individual needs. So what does that mean? That means for our children who have developmental challenges, early identification and intervention. That means we assume competence, and we do incorporation into the main classrooms. That means we stay up to date on technology so that all of our children are successful with careers after graduation in a world of artificial intelligence. That means that we identify and we support children who may have food insecurity, emotional poverty, and trauma. That means that we reassess and define curriculum for our most advanced students so they remain challenged. That definitely means that we support our teachers, that we are able to recruit and retain through competitive salaries, benefits, and continuing education for the changing child in their classroom. And that absolutely means that we continually reassess and refine these safety and security procedures through protocols and policies so that hopefully we never have a tragedy that other school districts have had. So tonight, as a pediatrician, as a mental health provider, and as a mother, I think about these issues for our children every single day. And I know that you guys do too. So tonight I come to you asking for your support to be a member of the school board. If I am elected, I will promise that I'm going to think about that whole child every time. I will seek to foster continued growth and improvement in our already exceptional schools. I will make decisions to continue to promote academic excellence, and I will work with other school board members to maintain financial responsibility so that we continue to foster the school's mission, but using our resources wisely. And last but not least, I will always, always advocate for all of our children. Thank you. Thank you.
How will you use your expertise to strengthen the mental health of our students?
So I love that question. Whoever asked that, thank you very much. In a recent Pew Research Center survey, do you know that 70% of teens identified anxiety and depression as their most pressing concern of today? So I think it's a very important and valid question. And in fact, that's where my heart is, and that's the whole reason I'm running, is to bring some medical and mental health expertise. So what would I like to see done? Well, Nixa has started it. I think we need to really expand. They've recently signed a contract with Burrell to have 2 therapists in the school system. But let me tell you, I've seen school systems where we don't have just 2 therapists. We actually have what are called community support staff. And what these do is they help teach kids mindfulness and resilience with it. So that's the first step. So when kids are coming from trauma or emotional poverty or anxiety or depression, we actually incorporate coping skills and resilience. Then they can also receive therapy if that is needed as well. Now, another important thing is making sure that our teachers are also brought into those skills of mindfulness and helping foster resilience. Because when these kiddos are in their class, it's a whole different ballgame, and it affects not only that child, but it affects the whole class. Because the teacher has to spend more time with trying to help that child too. So learning those techniques, giving those teachers the tools to be able to continue to affect change in their students, which ultimately helps education of every child in the classroom. So that's just the start of it. I actually have a lot more things, but there's alternative suspensions. So instead of kids being out of school, there can be therapeutic treatments. So we get these kids into school because we know there's something called the school to prison pipeline. And we don't want that for our students. We know the more time kids are out of school, the greater chances they have of not doing well and not being successful. I'm going to stop there because I want to be mindful of time. But if anybody has any further questions, I'm happy to answer after.